Good evening. You're watching Independent News. I'm Sakhawat Khan. As usual, we have the headlines before we go into the details. The High Court has halted proceedings in the arson case filed against 46 opposition leaders, including Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir. The BNP has welcomed the decision of the Election Commission not to use electronic voting machines in the next national elections. Experts say that the US's concern over the government's move to amend the Grameen Bank Act is ominous for Bangladesh. The High Court has issued a stay order against proceedings in the arson case filed against 46 opposition leaders. The leaders include BNP Acting Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir. The court also issued a rule asking the government to explain in 2 weeks why the Speedy Tribunal 5 should not be declared illegal. The tribunal was formed without any Gazette notification. The bench of Justices Naima Haider and Muhammad Khurshid Alam Sarkar gave the order after hearing a writ petition today. BNP leader Mahbubuddin Khokon filed the petition challenging the jurisdiction of the lower court. Khokon, who is also an accused in the case, filed the petition on the 29th of July seeking a stay on proceedings in the arson case. Earlier today, the junior judge of the High Court bench, led by Justice Mirza Hussain Haider, felt too embarrassed to hear the writ petition. The arson case was filed against 46 leaders for torching a vehicle in front of the Prime Minister's office during the opposition-called general strike on the 29th of April. BNP Acting Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has welcomed the Election Commission's decision not to use electronic voting machines in the next national elections. He said that the BNP is now working on a framework for a non-party government.
BNP leaders and activists placed wreaths at the mausoleum of Zia Rahman marking the 23rd founding anniversary of the Doctors Association of Bangladesh. At the program, Fakhrul said that the BNP is working on the framework of a non-party government.
We have made it clear that if the government accepts our demand for a non-party government, we are ready for talks on its framework. Specifically, we can talk about the selection of a chief advisor of that government.
Fakhrul welcomed the Election Commission decision not to use electronic voting machines in the next national election.
We welcome the decision. We have always opposed the use of EVMs in elections. We have always said that the results will not be fair if EVMs are used in elections.
After Fakhrul and other leaders left, 2 groups of the BNP got into a clash. At least 3 activists were injured during the clash.
Former Inspector General of Police Noor Mohammed has said that BDR soldiers had no leadership during the mutiny on the 25th and 26th of February 2009. He made the statement today while testifying before the Metropolitan Sessions Judges Court in the capital in the BDR carnage case. Noor Mohammed said that he, along with the Home Minister and the State Minister for Law, went to the Pilkhana BDR headquarters around midnight on the 25th of February in 2009. He said that they went there because the mutineers had agreed to surrender their arms. However, the defense counsel argued that the mutineers' surrender was a government-staged drama. Noor Mohammed's son-in-law, Captain Mazhar, was also amongst the army officers murdered during the mutiny. Mazhar's body was found near a sewerage line at Nawabganj in the capital the following day. At that time, Mazhar was serving as a personal aide to the BDR chief.
They were very reckless. Apparently, they had no leadership during the time of mutiny. They were acting at will.
Former advisor to the caretaker government, Sultana Kamal, will testify against Ghulam Azam at the International Crimes Tribunal on the 10th of September. The tribunal fixed the date today. Sultana, who is also a rights activist, will be the third witness against the former chief of the Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami. The former advisor appeared at the tribunal as scheduled today, but the tribunal postponed the recording of her deposition. The defense is now cross-examining the investigation officer in another war crimes case filed against Dilwar Hussain Saidi. Sultana Kamal will testify against Ghulam Azam after the completion of the cross-examination. BNP leader Fakhrul Islam Mir has said that the party will not discuss any issue with the government other than the selection of a head for the next caretaker government. The BNP Standing Committee member made the remark at a program in Dhaka today. He also said that the government's action against Grameen Bank is unprecedented. Fakhrul Islam Mir said that the cabinet decision on Grameen Bank was taken out of vengeance. He said the government's decision on the Nobel Prize-winning bank has tarnished the country's image abroad. President Ziaur Rahman has said that Bangladesh will soon become a developed and wealthy nation if the women of the country adopt the ideals of Sheikh Fazilun-Nisa Mujib. The President made the observation during a meeting with a delegation from Bangomata Porishad at his office today. During the meeting, President Ziaur Rahman praised the organization for its relentless efforts to preach the ideals of Sheikh Fazilun-Nisa Mujib. Earlier in the day, Air Force Chief Air Marshal Inamul Bari called on the President at his office. During the meeting, the Air Force Chief updated the President on the progress and development being made in the force. Bangladesh Chhatra League, or BCL, staged a human chain program in the capital today to demand the extradition and execution of the absconding killers of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. BCL is the associate student body of the ruling Awami League. After the program, a BCL procession marched towards the Foreign Ministry from the Dhaka University campus to hand over a memorandum. However, the police obstructed the procession in front of the mausoleum of the three national leaders. The BCL activists held a brief rally there. Speakers at the rally reiterated their demand for the extradition and execution of the absconding killers. Experts say that U.S. concern over the government's move to amend the Grameen Bank Act is ominous for Bangladesh. It may affect the country's relations with the international community. Yesterday, the U.S. State Department issued a statement expressing deep concern over the government move to amend the Grameen Bank Act.
The U.S. State Department says that the move of the Bangladesh government will diminish the female borrower shareholders' role in shaping the direction of an institution that has made a difference to millions of impoverished women in Bangladesh and around the world. The statement comes only 3 days after the government promulgated the amended Grameen Bank Ordinance.
Diverted more than $70 million in donor funding from Grameen Bank to a sister company without their consent.
The government makes the move despite direct and indirect expression of concerns by the U.S. State Department, U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and some European countries. Experts think that this move may turn out to be detrimental.
The incidents over this institution is undoubtedly damaging our image in the international community. No matter what we say to justify the moves, the entire world will think that the government is unnecessarily intervening in the institution operation.
অপ্রয়োজনীয় ইচ্ছাকৃত হস্তক্ষেপ করছে
পাবলিক বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় যেগুলো পাবলিক অটোনোমাস হওয়ার
Bangladesh was never without cooperation from the international community, nor will it ever be. Now if we continue to tarnish our image over such issues, we will lose our goodwill, and we won't receive much international support if required in the future.
Usually in banks, the board of directors has the authority to appoint the managing director. After the government move, the Grameen Bank becomes the sole exception. Experts fear that once the amended act is enforced, the structure of the institution may suffer a severe setback. In the last fiscal year, the export income from the US alone dropped by $95.7 million. Exporters observe that this is just a premonition of the ominous future that looms over the country's export sector.
A Dhaka court has granted bail to the Destiny Group Managing Director Rafiqul Amin and 4 other top officers of the much-talked-about organization. The 5 were granted bail in 2 money laundering cases filed by the Anti-Corruption Commission, or ACC. The court of the Chief Metropolitan Magistrate gave the order granting the Destiny officers bail until the police submit their investigation reports. Earlier in the day, the Destiny top brass surrendered before court and appealed for bail. The ACC filed the 2 cases against 2 officers of the Destiny Group on the 31st of July. The ACC accused the Destiny officers of embezzling over 32 billion taka. The ACC also alleged that the officers misappropriated that amount in the names of the Destiny Tree Plantation Project and the Destiny Multipurpose Cooperative Society. Clashes between 2 wings of the Rajshahi University unit of the Bangladesh Chhatra League resulted in 2 students being injured. They are now being treated at the Rajshahi Medical College Hospital. Police said that the violence was the result of a personal row between 2 BCL activists, Tushar and Harun Rashid, over watching television in a dormitory a few days ago. Tushar attacked Harun's room in the dormitory earlier today. In retaliation, Harun and some of his accomplices attacked Tushar later in the day. After the clashes, the police seized machetes, hammers and some other locally made weapons from the dormitory. Today is the 22nd day of the Bengali month of Shravan, or the 71st death anniversary of Nobel laureate poet Rabindranath Tagore. On this day of the Bengali year 1348, the literature maestro bade farewell to this world. Tagore left the imprint of his genius in all branches of Bengali literature.
Except Tagore, who else could write such glorifications of the Bengalis and of their emotions and feelings? If not Tagore, who else could boast of the supremacy of literary works over the transience of life? Born in 1861 in the Jorashako mansion in Kolkata, Tagore has always been a perennial source of inspiration for Bengalis in their weal and woes. With his diverse talents, he has delineated the true colors of Bengali life. In recognition of his spiritual and mercurial work, Gitanjali, which contains profoundly sensitive, fresh and beautiful verses, Tagore won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913. He was the first non-European to win the most prestigious recognition on earth. With his insurmountable talents as a novelist, dramatist, artist, essayist, music composer and philosopher, Tagore is and will always be among us, one of us.
Before we go on to the international news, a quick glimpse at the stock market. After 2 days of decline, the Dhaka Stock Exchange experienced a moderate gain in its benchmark index today. Prices of most shares on the country's premier bourse also registered a rise. The DSE General Index gained 52 points to reach 4,092 at close of day's trading. Of the 269 issues traded, 203 advanced, 41 declined and only 25 remained unchanged. Shares in mutual fund units worth 2.39 billion taka changed hands. Yesterday, the index dropped 58 points to stand at 4,039. Another giant step for mankind. U.S. space agency NASA successfully landed a huge new robot rover on Mars earlier today. The 1-ton vehicle, known as Curiosity, was reported to have landed in a deep crater near the planet's equator at around 10:30 this morning Bangladesh time. The rover mission is expected to last at least 2 years. It will look for evidence that Mars may once have supported life. A signal confirming that the rover was on the ground safely was relayed to Earth via NASA's Odyssey satellite, which is in orbit around the red planet. The success was greeted with a roar of jubilation at Mission Control at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. The rover has already sent its first low-resolution images showing the rover's wheel and its shadow. The pictures were taken through a dust-covered lens cap that has yet to be removed. The first color images of Curiosity's findings should be sent in the next couple of days. Syrian Prime Minister Riyad Farid Hajib has been sacked from his post. His dismissal was announced by Syrian state television earlier today. Such sackings are a common way for state television to react when an official has defected. Anti-government activists said that Hajib has defected and has arrived in the capital of Jordan. President Bashar al-Assad appointed Hajib as Prime Minister in June, following a parliamentary election in May. After Hajib was sacked earlier today, state media reported that Umar Ghaliwanji, Syria's deputy prime minister, has been appointed to lead a caretaker government. Sports now, and let's see how Usain Bolt, the Williams sisters and other athletes are performing at the London 2012 Olympics. That's all for now, but you can get more news and updates from independent television through your mobile phones. For breaking news, go to your mobile message option, type start space B and send to 16232. For daily news updates, type start space DN and send to 16232. You can also call 16232 from any operator to listen to the latest headlines in Bangla. That's all we have from the English News Desk for this evening. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. our usual time. Thank you for watching. Good night.